What's up, guys? Blade Master here. We're going to be watching a Charlie battle the uh, between the Emirate of Cordoba and Westphalia. And I thought it would be a good idea if I start off the first few, like first 10 online battles, or from now, the first five to 10 online battles, like this, giving you guys a very brief description of each faction, letting you guys get some background information, and then proceeding on to the online battle. So, Emirate of Cordoba versus Westphalia. Emirate of Cordoba biggest strengths are probably they're a very decent faction in terms of a lot of units. They've got good cavalry, armored cavalry, Andalusian cavalry. These guys are heavy. The armored cavalry are heavy, Andalusian medium, but both of them are good cavalry killers. Berber Genites, very nice unit because they have 90 missile damage with 15 bonus versus cavalry. Only 5 ammo, but that's not the end of the world. With that 5 ammo, they can probably slaughter an enemy cavalry unit. They've got the armored archers, which I think is another highlight for them because these guys have 46 armor, which makes them incredibly resilient to enemy missiles. And they have 38 missile damage. Another highlight for these guys is the Andalusian warriors. These guys have a 70% missile block chance on top of 53 armor and 72 melee defense. Incredibly tanky unit. Not the best against enemy infantry though, because the 34 melee attack and 40 damage isn't the greatest, along with that only 17 charge bonus, which is standard, but they lack in their melee attack and melee damage. With shield wall, they'll probably do pretty decent, but I wouldn't put them up against the best that Mercia has to offer, like the Royal Thanes and stuff. On the other hand, Westphalia, one of my favorite factions. I think my second favorite faction after the AORs. They have Warhounds, which is pretty useless, let's admit. These guys are the highlight, I think. They have the Saxon cavalry and the Scout cavalry. These guys are. I take back completely my statements before. I thought the Saxon and Scout cavalry aren't great, but they are very, very cool. They have excellent melee attack. They have the 20 bonus versus large, I believe, maybe it's 30, I don't know, spear. Most likely 20 bonus versus enemy cavalry spear. They've got good melee defense as well. So all of this makes them a very good unit, decent unit in melee against enemy cavalry. But on top of that, they wield two volleys of very deadly ammunition against enemy cavalry. And the Saxon cavalry have a speed of 80, the Scout cavalry have a speed of 90, which makes both of them very nice in terms of harassing enemy cavalry. Won't do well against our horse archers, but should do well against most other units, especially something like the Berber Genites. They'll match them for speed, and they can even probably catch them. Unless your opponent's miss micro, or unless your opponent's micro like a god. Hearth cavalry, excellent unit. They are very heavy, which will improve their impact damage. Attack against cavalry of 20, good melee attack, good melee damage. Similar actually to the Andalusian cavalry. Yeah, if you look at that, these guys cost 825, whereas the Westphalian Hearth cavalry cost a whole lot more. The Hearth cavalry are very heavy, but besides that, there's very little to separate these two. So, Hearth Cavalry, decent. Noble Javelin, awesome. Really like these guys. They are that melee attack, it's one of those units that the stats don't really give a good enough. It doesn't do justice for this unit because the charge bonus of 30 is insane. And it's something that is often overlooked. Pairing these guys in with a fast charge Hearth Guard general could be pretty interesting. Sword veterans, decent units. Sayax and Sayax Band, Sayax Warriors and Sayax Band, very nice units. They have 5 bonus versus enemy infantry. High armor piercing swords. Part axe, part sword. Very, very good, cool units. Probably the biggest highlight for these guys. And yeah, besides that, very nice, very diverse roster. Hearthguard, excellent general. For the Emirate of Cordoba, they have the YU Mad Guards, who are probably the best cavalry unit to take on enemy cavalry. Anyways, let's get into the battle. What's up, guys? Welcome to the battle between me and Houseplant. As usual, or as I just described, I've taken Westphalia, and Houseplant, on the other hand, has taken the Emirate of Cordoba. We're fighting in Seville. I don't know. Let's see what army I've brought. With Westphalia, I've brought a couple of Sayax Band who are going to serve as kind of meat shields, kind of decent, cheap infantry units. I've got some sword veterans who are flanking my Hearthguard general in the center, and I've got some Sayax warriors, a total of 4 Sayax warriors on the flanks. Brought a total of 2 levy archers and 1 archer. The archer has 35 missile damage. The levy archers have 32. I brought a couple of noble javelin men who cost 4 and 20 talents, I think. And they are very decent units, like I explained earlier. I've got a Saxon cavalry and a Scout cavalry on either flank, who are going to be hopefully pretty essential. A couple of Hearth cavalry as well. Houseplant, on the other hand, has brought a total of 2 Andalusian archers and 1 armored archer in the center. He's brought 4 Andalusian infantry who have a 40% missile block chance. These are not the Andalusian warriors. And he's brought a total of 3 Berber levy and Berber warriors. Yeah, 2 Berber warriors, 1 Berber levy. And he's got 3 Andalusian cavalry no, 2 Andalusian cavalry and 1 horseman on either flank. Andalusian cavalry, as I described earlier, very decent units. I charge in with my scout cavalry here and kill off his archers. But it's not very cost effective. I'm coming in with a Sayax warrior here, and he brings 2 of his spearmen, and he also brings his Andalusian cavalry. And it's just a massive mayhem here. He's going to pull away with his Andalusian cavalry pretty effectively. And meanwhile, my scout cavalry hasn't done too much, but I've managed to pull them off now. My Sayax warriors get charged at by his Andalusian cavalry. Excellently done here. So they lose a shit ton of men. I'm using my noble javelin men to get a lot of kills on the Andalusian cavalry in the process. And the Andalusian cavalry, pretty expensive, 825, whereas my Sayax warriors cost around 500. I charge in with my Sayax band against his Andalusian infantry, who are in shield wall. And my Hearth guard here, he is a Warcry general. And what I'm doing now is trying to use the fear stack early. The Andalusian infantry now only have 32 morale. And I'm going to stack this in with a high charge infantry in my Hearth guard. So these guys get 33 kills on the charge against Andalusian infantry, and that's just going to keep rising. Oh, fuck. Okay. And it's just a mad dash everywhere else. Let me just put this in slow motion. My Sayax warriors charge into his Berber levy. I think he charged in with his cavalry earlier. But either ways, they're not doing very well. Sayax warriors here getting 6 kills on a mixture of cavalry and mostly spears. And I've left my Hearth cavalry way behind. Some of my Sayax warriors die to... this is the one that he used his Andalusian cavalry incredibly effectively here. But here I use Warcry, I believe. Yeah, I use Warcry and get -12, -5 and -9 morale with all those morale penalties inflicted. My Hearth guard general, on the other hand, only took 15 casualties and has managed to rout an Andalusian infantry, poking a hole through his center very, very quickly. Moving back with my noble javelin, these guys have already gotten a single experience chevron. And here, my Hearth cavalry going to charge into his Andalusian cavalry. Should make short work of the Andalusians, I think. And charging in with Sayax band, chasing away his Andalusian cavalry, killing off some of them, and some of his Berber warriors also getting cut. His armored archers here, I'm using my Hearth guard to kill them off. I've lost a lot of Hearth guards so far, still losing some, strangely enough. But I'm losing the battle on the flanks. My Scout cavalry and Saxon cavalry haven't done too much yet, so I'm pulling back with them. My Sayax band, 57 kills with these guys. Sword veterans, 29 kills against Andalusian warriors. And these sword veterans starting to get a lot of kills against Andalusian infantry. And here I kill off his armored archers. They wavered. I mean, they've broken. And this Andalusian infantry got a charge in, but my Hearth guard has gotten 160 kills with a single experience chevron so far. Here, his YU Mad guard charged into my Hearth cavalry. Hearth cavalry hasn't done much, but now I'm using my Saxon cavalry to support. And they're going to get some kills on the YU Mads, but the YU Mads are just incredibly good because that 30 attack against cavalry means these Saxon cavalry are going to die very quickly. A horseman here caught my Hearth cavalry, I think. And just too much micro for me. I'm pulling around. He's got so much cavalry, and I didn't bring any spears, which meant that it was just a perfect counter army. So I'm suffering now. This noble javelin hasn't done anything, but I've used them to just tie down these Andalusian infantry, using my archers to pour in the flaming shot against his Andalusian cavalry. And noble javelin here just very, very tanky, holding out against a bunch of units. This YU Mad's still doing incredibly well. 44 men left, 88 kills. And I'm going to use my Scout cavalry or Saxon cavalry, I don't know. But Saxon cavalry, but I decided now is not the time to charge into him. I'm going to pull them closer to my other units and then try and, look at these guys. They're so far away, and I'm going to try and gangbang them with 3 cavalry units. Hopefully that'll be enough. Meanwhile, these armored archers trying to get quite a few kills, I think, on my Hearth guard. 72 kills, 72 men left. I'm charging into his Andalusian cavalry here, and they're going to be locked into deadly combat for quite a while. I think the Andalusian cavalry are going to take a while before they die. And the biggest thing that I think is going to happen now is I've charged in his YU Mads down to 15 men. They've got a double experience chevron. And he's bringing in all of his units to help support, but it looks like it's going to be a bit too late. He's using Brace now, but his YU Mads are dead. But keep in mind, General hasn't died. 3 men left in the General. General hasn't died. And this Andalusian down to 28 men, it would have routed. I use Warcry now with this General for a second time. His armored archer is about to get a single experience chevron here. But his YU Mats still haven't died. His guard cavalry, look at this. This one fucker is still, he's just running away. The strongest general in the history of generals. The bane of my existence. And that's the reason why, I mean, a lot of my units are wavering now. Sword veterans wavering. But if his general died, a lot of these guys would be routing now. Especially this Andalusian cavalry, which is pretty important. And now he's going to, I think he rear charged with his Berber warriors. And with that 23 charge bonus against a rear charge against my Hearthguard, did pretty well. My Hearthguard lost a lot of men there, surprisingly enough. And I think that's mainly because his armored archers kept firing in. And boom, Hearthguard shattered. My general hasn't died yet though. But my archers are wavering, attacked in the rear. And a lot of my guys are wavering. So imagine if that morale, the enemy general is dead now. And so you can see a lot of these guys are starting to waver. So imagine if this happened like 15-20 seconds ago. You can see a lot of them are routing now. But now my general is dead, which means my sword veterans are definitely going to rout. And these sacks, now it just looks so much more difficult for me. A lot of these Berber warriors, even now they only have 19 morale. So imagine, if my guys weren't routed, then, or if my general, or if his general died when he should have died, in my opinion, then this game would have been mine. So I call hacks. Please, everyone, hashtag hacks. Hashtag houseplant hacks. That is the meme for this video. Houseplant has hacks to his general. I call hacks. And I demand a victory. Oh man, this was an excellent game. The armored archers did brilliant. I mean, I'm pretty salty that these guys didn't shatter immediately, but props to him for bringing the armored archers. They're expensive, they're an excellent unit, like I said, and they just showcased why. Andalusian cavalry did very well too. Instrumental in breaking off a lot of my units. Noble Charlemagne did really well, I think, this one, but the other one that didn't use its ammunition failed. Archers, not very cost effective at the end of the day, but keep in mind that Whistling plus Flaming Shot helped me poke a hole through his center very early on, along with with my Warcry General. Sayax Warrior, Sayax Band, kind of disappointments at the end of the day. I mean, look at the units that they were fighting. Only 4 infantry versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 infantry. But I think he used his cavalry very effectively to counteract the fact that he brought a lot of spears. So yeah, very well played to Houseplant, and hope you guys enjoyed this Charlie replay. Stay tuned for more. Peace.